Alright everyone, we are continuing with the Beatles re-listen series. Last time we listened to Please Please Me and that album grew on me a little bit. So I'm hoping the same can happen for the second album with the Beatles. Originally I gave this album a 65, seeing it as a very mixed bag. And I'm hoping that this time around, like Please Please Me, this one can go up a bit. Maybe hopefully up into the 7 range, maybe even beyond. Maybe, I don't know, this time around I'll find myself absolutely in love with this album, even though it's not the most likely. Yeah, this one came out also in 1963. This one is also 14 tracks and 33 minutes. I'm just going to get straight into this. Track 1, it won't be long.
It won't be long, yeah.
I love the intro to this track. I absolutely fucking love that call and response, and the melody on that chorus is great.
Since you left me, the tears come down from my eyes. Every day I've done nothing but cry. Since you left me, I'm so alone. Now you're coming on home.
Production has taken like a noticeable step up here. This is like way better recorded. Like the bass is a little thicker here. I don't know, it just feels more well balanced across the board.
Till I belong to you.
Solid start. Very solid start. I would give that first track like a flat 8. I absolutely adore the melodies on this track. I think that the call and response on the chorus is so damn fun. I think that the instrumental here, again, kind of has a lot of drive of some of my favorite tracks on Please Please Me. And just on top of that, it feels like the writing here and the performances and even the recording, everything here has just taken a step up. I don't know, this song's a very promising start to this album. Sounds pretty fucking fantastic. Yeah, it won't be long. Solid ass start to this album. All I've got to do.
Whenever I want you around, yeah, is call you on the phone and you come running home. Yeah, that's all I gotta do. And when I wanna kiss you, yeah, is call you on the phone.
This is a solid ass 2 tracks to kick off the album, dude. Like, I just love how busy this track is. Yeah, this is like another flat 8 for me. 2 flat 8s back to back. I think that both of these songs are fantastic, kind of introductory pieces to this album. I think that both of these tracks do such a great job at establishing how the recording has taken a step up, how the writing has taken a step up, how they are much more comfortable as performers, and how just their overall ability to create tracks that are a little busier, that are a little more complex. I don't know. It's just showing that they can do that and not have it feel like they are losing the youthful essence of the first album that was the biggest draw to a lot of my favorite songs on that project. Solid start. Like in these first 2 cuts, I'm hoping this album can keep this up. Next track we have All My Lovin'.
Close your eyes.
Oh, this song. I remember this. The song fucking slaps.
And hope that my dreams will come true.
The riffing on this song is so fucking fun. Like, I love those offbeat stabs.
Close your eyes and I'll kiss you. Tomorrow I'll miss you. All my loving, darling, I'll be true. All my loving.
Man, that song is slick. It's bouncy, catchy as hell, a little more emotionally driven than the previous 2 tracks as well. This is a solid-ass 3-track run to kick this album off. This is way better than I remember. Feeling like a high 8 on that. Good shit. Man, we're kicking off this album on fire. This is so much better than I remember. This feels like it's taking all of the problems I had on Please Please Me with them just really banking on these 50s rock and blues aesthetics and them kind of not really presenting them in a way that feels all that reinventive. It kind of felt like a lot of like, the album had a lot of covers on it, but it felt like just a lot of covers that didn't, add much. This... Well, a lot of covers of those aesthetics, I mean, specifically. This feels like it's actually the Beatles presenting themselves as something more than we can perform all of these 50s standards with a lot more attitude. This feels like them saying, okay, we can do more than that, and we can actually prove that we have a lot to say. We can prove that we are capable of writing songs that are even more catchy than that. We can add our own unique spins to make these tracks stand out a whole bunch. I'm hoping the album can keep this up. Up next we have Don't Bother Me.
Since she's been gone, I want no one to talk to me.
This is the first song George ever wrote, huh? Damn.
Every night I'm all alone. I've got no time for you right now, don't bother me. But till she's here, please don't come near, just stay away. I'll be the same.
I feel like the playing across the board on this song is pretty solid. I'm liking the jazzy, upbeat stepped hi-hats that Ringo is adding in here. Riffing is solid as hell. Bassline's great too. And the song does run a little repetitive. George Harrison certainly hasn't like fucking weaved a masterpiece here or anything like that. It is an incredibly repetitive track that, I don't know, by the time I reach the end here, I feel like it's presented everything it can and is kind of just dragging a little bit. But you know what? The first half of this song is legitimately great. Fantastic riffing, incredible bass line from Paul McCartney. The vocals across the board are solid as well. I love the way Ringo implements those jazzy stepped hi-hats on the upbeats. That's kind of a fun thing to add a little bit of swing to this song. But it does get a little stale. It feels like the song does just start going in loops round and round and round by the time you reach the back half. And it does kind of get to the point where I'm just kind of waiting for the track to be over. This one's a low 7 for me. Still good. Still good. Certainly not a bad song by any means. I would still say it is in the green and a good track. Just the weakest of the bunch so far. You can tell that it's a first song, so I can't hold it against George Harrison too much. The fact that he's creating like a 7 out of 10 track for his first song is pretty impressive. Uh-oh. We got Little Child up next. This song's fucking horrible from what I remember. This song's fucking trash.
Little child, little child, little child, won't you dance with me? I'm so sad and lonely. Baby, take a chance with me.
This song's so catchy. It's not even... This song isn't even catchy. Like, we're only 30 seconds in. This is like a legitimately bad song. This instrumental is so fucking packed. Like, they've been doing some busier stuff on the album up to this point. They've been working on having these tracks having a lot more moving pieces, but musically speaking, this track is just mush. There's so much going on without any sense of balancing. It's like they knew that this song was like one of the worst written songs that they would ever go on to make, and they were like, okay, we need to like seriously fuck this one up. Simply just for the sake of destroying it. It's a frustrated attempt at making blues. And it really does not work for me. Like, listen to just how crammed this mix is, dude. Yeah, the harmonica sounds like shit. It's so damn loud. There is just no breathing room anywhere in here. There's no sense of fluidity or dynamics. Everything is just so thick. 2026 mix will save it. Exactly. The 2026 mix of this track will be the saving grace. It'll turn it into a 10 out of 10. Song's fucking terrible. Song's genuinely terrible. Feeling a low 3, like a flat 3 on that song. The Beatles making a song that is legitimately horrible. A track that has some of the worst writing that we will see on any Beatles track, full stop. An instrumental that is so packed and so busy. Like, again, this album, they've been working on balancing out making busier songs, and they've done it really well so far, where these tracks have a lot more going on. The recording is a little more intimate, which is allowing these instruments to feel a little bit bigger, like they're filling out more space in the mix, and I think that they've done a great job at balancing that, George Martin's production specifically. And this song, it just feels like watching a fucking car crash. It's so chaotic, it's so confusing and disorienting, all of these moving parts moving so fucking fast, being so loud, that harmonica just completely overtaking the mix anytime it appears. This one is rough. This track is flat ass. Probably the worst Beatles song, to be honest. This song is pretty terrible. And considering the fact that we've had like a great 4-track run to kick the album off, getting a song that's this bad, that goes so far beneath even the lows of Please Please Me, yeah, rough. Very rough. Till There Was You. Revolution 9 is unironically way better. Listen, I'm going to bring up this now before we get to the White Album, okay, because the White Album is pretty far down the line. Listen to me. Revolution 9 is legitimately one of the strongest Beatles tracks. It's legitimately incredibly experimental. It's actually a fascinating piece that is so impressive for the year it came out. Revolution 9 is fucking fantastic. One of the actually most legitimately experimental songs I have heard, okay? Do I ever re-listen to it? Absolutely not. I never come back to that song. But it's incredible. But you know what I also don't ever sit down and listen to? I never sit down and listen to A Crow Looked at Me by Mount Eerie. I never listen to that album. But that album is a 10 out of 10 for me because of how much emotion it's able to evoke. But that's also the reason I don't listen to it. And Revolution 9 is a 10 out of 10 for me because of how trippy, disorienting, how weird and creepy that song is able to be. And that's also the same reason I don't listen to it. So if I can give that reasoning to A Crow Looked at Me, I should be able to give that reasoning to something that is the same in an experimental direction instead of an emotional direction. It's nice to see him just getting like a full folky acoustic track here. Some solid little added percussion in here as well. Fragrant meadows of dawn. Show you one fucking composer better than Paul McCartney in the last 500 years. Okay, the dick eating is a little crazy. Listen, he's 80. He's like 83 years old or however old he is. Okay, you don't need to hop on that hard. Okay. Till There Was You is a lovely track. Feeling a high 7 on this one. Nice to get an acoustic led song. Here, the first acoustic led. There weren't any ones on Please Please Me that I can remember at least. Yeah, song's delightful. It's sweet. Very fun, some more nice, more wooden percussive textures on this track. I love the added percussion specifically. I think that this track, I don't know, kind of has like a dusty vintage feeling to it that I really appreciate. And also, it's just got a nice, intimate, cozy vocal performance as well. Solid track. Not one I'd come back to, but still, lovely. Please, Mr. Postman. I forget that that's on this album. Wait, oh yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Wait, hey, song's iconic. Song is pretty good. My favorite Beatles songs that I come back to. I don't come back to the Beatles that much. That's why I'm re-listening to their stuff, or one of the reasons. I'd say the one I come back to most would probably be... It would probably be A Day in the Life. That's my favorite Beatles song. My current favorite is Abbey Road. I have a whole ranking video. Go watch that ranking video. You can see all of my old opinions on the albums condensed into one video. I said that would never change. I have some unfortunate news for all the Abbey Road fans. That album has shrunk on me. I don't fuck with the medley anymore. I don't give a shit about the medley. Anytime I've tried to re-listen to the album, I get to the medley and I get so bored and I turn it off. Dead ass. I'm just like, yeah, this is boring as fuck. The first like 2/3 of the album are fucking incredible, and then I get to the medley and I'm like, these are just like some unfinished ass vignettes. I do not care for the medley on Abbey Road anymore. I find it incredibly boring. The first 2/3 of the album are like basically perfect though. Then the medley is just I've gotten so much shit from my Beatles takes already. I'm used to it at this point. Yeah, Please Mr. Postman is, I don't know, probably of their covers so far, my favorite. I'd say a low 8. I don't know. I love how they take this track and just kind of put it in a more hard rocking, very forward driven direction. I love that this track, I don't know, I love that this track just kind of feels like the band being as loud and rowdy as possible. You get like very incredibly loud cymbals from Ringo. I think that John Lennon's vocal performance kind of being as raspy and as forward as it is like really sweet as well. I will say the track maybe does feel like it drags a little bit, especially with it only being 2.5 minutes. Don't know how they were even able to do that with a song that's 2.5 minutes, make it feel like it drags towards the end. But I will say the first 3/4 of this song are pretty fucking fantastic. Just a great cover across the board, even if I feel like it does, I don't know, start to wear on me by the end. Roll Over Beethoven up next. I remember this one having, I think this one was highlighted in the anthology episode, the first anthology episode, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't hate this. I never hated any of the Beatles albums. I thought this album was decent. I gave it a solid 6. I enjoyed this album. You know, I will never understand why people ever said I hated the Beatles. I gave all of their albums positive scores. Every single one of them. That's hate? How the fuck is that hate? How is me saying, yeah, this album's okay, just not my thing? How is that hate? In what universe is me saying, this is okay but not my thing, hating something? It's not. I'm falling for the rage bait. No, because that's how motherfuckers actually acted. That is how people actually acted when I gave like an album a 6 out of 10. That's how people acted when I gave a Beatles album a 9 out of 10. So I see a comment like that, and I can't tell if you're joking or not, because that's genuinely how people responded to that. Yes. When I gave MJ an 8 out of 10, I was called a racist pervert. I was called racist and perverted for giving Michael Jackson an 8 out of 10. Wasn't how they mixed Ringo's drums with really washed out cymbals? I think the drums sound nice. I wish that maybe the snare was a little punchier, the snare feels a little quiet, but I like, yeah, that the cymbals are as loud as they are. I don't hate Ringo. Again, Ringo is a 7 out of 10 drummer. He is solid. Roll Over Beethoven. This kind of feels more like a Please Please Me track. Again, I appreciate the better recording and better production of this track, but on the whole, I just kind of found it to be in line with some of the stuff that I wasn't too crazy on that album. It just felt like it wasn't really... I don't know, it felt like this song wasn't really moving in any particular direction that was all that interesting to me. Felt like this track kind of was doing a lot of very standard stuff, especially early Beatles, taking an influence from a lot of 50s rock and roll and stuff like that. That just felt, I don't know, a little flat to me. I didn't hate this song. It's like a solid to high 5. I don't know, it's decent. It's decent. It's an okay track, middle of the road, but a far cry from the best song on this album, especially when we've had as many bangers on here as we have so far. Hold Me Tight up next. I feel like I remember this one. I do not remember this one. This is not the song I thought it was at all. Your favorite Paul vocal performances ever? This clapping is really annoying. This clapping is kind of like killing the tone of this song, I can't lie. The clapping is so goofy, dude. It is a decent vocal performance. I'm not like head over heels for it. It is solid though. Hold Me Tight gets a flat 7 from me. A fun, pretty charming, sweet, adorable track that I feel like, I don't know, it is recapturing what I feel like a song like the previous track was missing, where it feels like it has much more of that distinct Beatles stamp, where that previous song I don't know, kind of felt like it was a little standard, like it was a little generic, like it lacked a lot of the flavor and sauce, as a lot of the better songs on this album had. This one recaptures it a little bit. Not the craziest on the writing on this track. I think that the instrumental does leave a little to be desired, as I feel like it does get a little flat at points, but I will say that this song definitely is a pretty decent step up from the previous one. You Really Got Hold on Me up next. Smokey Robinson wrote this song, okay. Donna George on lead, which is the only time this has happened? Damn. Nice to get a kind of 6/8 swingy track here, that's nice. Okay. Feeling like a high 7 on that track. A great swingy song, a beautiful double lead from George Harrison and John Lennon on this track. Maybe not the most interesting instrumentally in terms of the actual individual parts that are being played. It felt like Ringo felt a little stiff in terms of his parts on this song. I felt like there could have been maybe a little bit more variety in what he was doing. And also, I don't know, there's a couple of the lead elements that I felt like just were a little uninteresting. It felt like this track could have done a lot more in terms of making itself a lot more jazz tinged in its actual lead parts, because it felt like it really wanted to be like this jazzy, swingy, smooth track, and I think that it succeeded for the most part, but it just needed some little added flair, I think, to bring it up to being in great territory. But besides that, that song was incredibly solid. So yeah, good shit. Felt like that song could have done a little bit more to be even better, though. I Want to Be Your Man up next. I remember this song. There we go. I wanna be your lover, baby. I wanna be your man. Rolling Stones version is so much better. I've not actually heard the Stones version of this, I don't think. I wanna be your man. I wanna be your man. I would imagine it's a little more moody than this version. This is my favorite on the first listen. I mean, it's fun. I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite so far. Yeah, it's like if Please Please Me went to the gym. That's a good way of describing this. It's like if Please Please Me had some aura. Fun song. Low 8. I have not heard the Rolling Stones version of this track. I cannot comment on whether that is better than this or not. I don't think I've heard it, at least. If I have, I don't remember it. I don't know. It's like a nice, fast-paced, just breakneck, balls-to-the-walls rock track that I feel like does its job well in just being as high energy as it possibly can, being as fast-paced as it can, without feeling like it goes too off the rails or too much like the band, overdoing it or anything like that. Not the most impressive song on the album up to this point, but still solid, fun, kind of cheeky. I like it. Devil in Her Heart. She's got the devil in her heart. Romance is so important to me. She'll never hurt me. She won't desert me. Written by the Danaes, a little known girl group. George Harrison discovered it in a London record shop and pushed for its inclusion. Okay. I can't believe that she'll ever go. No way she hurts me and says she loves me so. She's gonna tear your heart apart. No, nay, will she deceive. She's got the devil in her heart. No, she's an angel sent to me. Solid track. Feeling a solid 7 on this. I'm liking the kind of loose, swingy feel to this track, obviously doing the 3-3-2 grouping to wrap around to being 4-4. A nice way of having a track feel swung while still being in 4-4. I think that the vocals here, I agree with what Shaden said a second ago, where you like how the song structures the backing vocalist as arguing with the lead singer. So like little details like that do flesh this song out a bit for me. I just wasn't the craziest on the pacing of this track. I felt like it was moving a little slow. I felt like this track dragged a tiny bit because of how slow it was, and I feel like if it was not necessarily a little more urgent, but if there was just a little bit more going on in this song, I felt like it could have been brought up to 8 out of 10 territory, because I felt like there were a couple of points where it ran a little thin. And this track definitely was not the most interesting of the bunch up to this point. It felt like this song just had a couple of points where I was a little out of it. But still, I enjoyed the song on the whole. Not a second time. Up next.
You know you made me cry. I see no use in wondering why I cried for you.
Piano? Exactly. Immediate 10 out of 10 at the appearance of piano. Okay. Who's on piano on this one? Been a flat 8 on this one. I don't know, I like how messy this song is. It kind of has an inherent sloppiness that, I don't know, is very charming to me. I feel like this song maybe could have been a little more developed. It felt like this track, at a couple points, felt like it could have been expanded upon a little more. A couple of the ideas felt a little bit more like they could have definitely had more added onto them. Particularly, I wish the piano was a bit of a bigger presence on this track. It felt like there was some really interesting stuff going on there, and they kind of limited it a little bit too much to the point where, I don't know, it felt like a kind of an underwhelming factor on this track. But besides that, the song is genuinely pretty great. Flat 8 for me. Final song, Money, That's What I Want.
The best things in life are free, but you can keep them for the birds and bees. Now give me money. What I want, that's what I want. What I want.
Wish the drums were louder here, dude. Like, it feels like this song needs some punchy ass drums. They're so buried. Like, imagine if there was like a loud booming tom leading this dude. Like he's clearly playing like a very fun floor tom beat. And I wish they was highlighted a little bit more. They based capitalism on this song, yeah. Decent closer, feeling like a solid 7 on that track. Fun, passionate performances, a song that is a little more boisterous and flamboyant than the other tracks, that really allows itself to just go as wild as it wants. But in that, I kind of feel like it does stray off the beaten path at points and can get a little directionless for me. Still, a good song, 7.5. I enjoyed it on the whole. I think that this track is a solid way to close this album. Just not the strongest track on the project. I feel like that it could have been tightened up a little bit to be brought up to even higher heights, in my opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, that was with the Beatles. I liked this album this time around. Mostly positive scores, like mostly above 7s. I did not expect that at all. I do not remember this album being as well recorded as it is. I do not remember this album being as much of a step forward as it was from Please Please Me. I remember Please Please Me and this album blending together a lot. But this one actually is way more of an advancement from that album, where the recording is so much stronger, the instrumentals are way busier and more complex, and it feels like the band have really come into their own as performers here. Now, not every song is perfect. I feel like there are still some blemishes on this album where these songs do get a little bit of a sense of lost identity. A couple of these tracks are not as colorful or as interesting or as well written as some of the others. I think that Little Child is handily the worst Beatles song by a pretty decent margin. And also you get just a handful of tracks throughout the track listing that just found to be a little uninteresting, that I found to be like retreading some of the ground, going back to a lot of what didn't work on Please Please Me. But for the most part, the band are shedding that on this album and establishing themselves in a way that feels like the first album is them saying, hey, here's us showing that we can record some interesting music, here's us showing that we can operate as performers, and this is them saying, okay, now here's us showing that we can do more than that. I think that they, for the most part, genuinely really succeeded. I liked this album a decent bit more this time around. I'm going to run the numbers and I will tell you what my overall score for this album is. Ladies and gentlemen, my original score for this album was a 6.5 out of 10, and the updated score is a 7.3 out of 10. The album has now gone up to being in the green instead of being in the yellow or in the white, as I would consider like an album I mixed on to be. Sounds good. It's solid. It's fun. It's not one that I'd see myself coming back to necessarily. I certainly am not going to say that this is my favorite Beatles album by any stretch of the imagination. I still think A Hard Day's Night is better, which we're obviously going to be getting onto next time. And I think that it doesn't quite reach the heights of obviously the later era of the band. But I will say that this album, especially listening to it coming straight out of Please Please Me, is a big step up from that. I think that this album has a lot more to offer than that album does. It has a lot more songwriting prowess, it has a lot more production muscles, and I think that on the whole, it's just a way more satisfying listen. So yes, this album, it's a low 7. Honestly, very solid. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think of this album down below and how it compares to other Beatles albums for you. You can check out my first reaction to this album, as well as my re-listen to Please Please Me, and make sure you stay tuned for all of the rest of the Beatles albums as well, because we're going to be going through all of them throughout the month of January, uploading every couple days back-to-back-to-back Beatles videos, re-listening, and then a ranking at the end of the month. Thank you to Chivo as well for editing this video. He's editing all of these Beatles reactions, as well as editing a bunch of the previous Beatles reactions and the Beatles solo reactions too, so massive thank you to him. Link to his album of the year is down in the description. And yeah, I will see you all for part 3, where we listen to A Hard Day's Night. Bye bye.